Hello, hey John, how's it going?
Hi Daniel, how you doing?
I'm great, thanks. I do absolutely appreciate that, you had this idea that we could do a testimonial,
Yeah,
and I appreciate that you're also willing to do this because thing is, I do know this is a great way to show others what this all about, and as you just mentioned also in your message,
yeah,
I just totally agree with you. There's just so many gurus, so many mentors just selling something but not actually being anything useful. So that being said, I also notice sometimes my sort of marketing isn't projecting the true value of it.
yeah,
So probably this short conversation could definitely help people better understand what this all about.
yeah, definitely. I've just literally just opened up my Instagram and opened up my YouTube, and there's so many videos, so many trading videos, so many people, you know, telling you how much money they're making, and not really giving you much substance. It's just yeah, it's just ridiculous. So yeah, I'm happy to help.
I also follow a couple of people. Like, I'm not like following them from my page. I just, sometimes check what's going on because obviously I want to keep up with the industry and want to know what's actually going on. And, first thing I can say, the mentorship industry is very competitive. So there's like so many clowns doing it. It's
Yeah,
pretty wide, to be honest. Like, it's probably what almost everybody on the internet does. Like anybody who has a trading page,
yeah,
they do sell something, and most of the time it just complete rubbish.
yeah, yeah. I agree. Yeah, that's one of the reasons I found you. I mean. Originally, I'd been trading for probably about a year before I got onto the mentorship, and I'd been through a shitload of different things from signals to, buying courses, and I even got scammed. I got scammed out of 10,000 USD by
Oh,
copy trading. So I actually put money into an account, and they were running it for me. Not you're completely naive. When you come into it, you're completely naive, and you think everybody wants to help you, and everybody's a good person who wants to improve your trading and your knowledge, and they make a little bit of money along the way, and you do that's I have to say that's bullshit. There's not many people. There is not many. In fact, I don't know anybody that would trade for you and just expect to take a very small commission. It just seems ridiculous. But
oh,
now, I look back in hindsight and I think, I was a bit of a pillock to be honest. But that's part of the learning. So I found your channel, I think through I was watching some of your Instagram stuff, and I joined your Telegram free channel, and then I think we got talking. I joined your boot camp, and I thought, well, this guy knows what he's talking about. And then you mentioned about taking it to the next level in terms of the mentorship program is just like it's like a million steps up from the boot camp. And I don't mean that's not disrespectful to anybody that's in the boot camp, but if you really want to, perfect your trading, you got to do that. You've got to do a mentorship where you have a one-to-one because you learn so much,
oh yeah.
and you saying about you said, oh, it's going to be quite intense. I don't want any time wasters. Shows me right at the beginning that you were like, well, I'm only going to take on the people that are 100% committed to it, which I was, and I think you saw that
Absolutely.
when I
Yes,
started.
absolutely, John. And one of the best things in teaching you is, what I noticed is that you've been showing up every single day on a daily basis, and that's really the difference maker. So to me, it's really also a testament to why you're successful the way you're successful, because you're taking everything way more seriously than anybody else does. So that already comes onto your mindset, and it's just big respect from me because you're probably one of the most dedicated students who definitely shows up every single day, every single meeting, and actually applies the things that I'm teaching. And
Yeah,
it really shows off in your results, getting those payouts and getting to the point where you're currently at.
yeah. So in terms of the mentorship, I think if you're deadly serious about it, if somebody's listening to this and thinking, oh, I'm not sure if that's for me, it's an intensive course. I mean, I have to say that we every day, I think. just before Christmas or between Christmas and New Year, we started the program, and we were on it every day, and we were having conversations. It was an intensive, well, six months to be honest. I think we met more or less every day on Zoom,
Mhm.
and we just looked at the charts. We looked at the daily cycles and what that meant, and we just went into so much detail that you think you know how to trade, and then you do this mentorship, and it's like it's a different level. But you've got to be prepared to put in the time. I,
Oh
I
yeah,
run I
absolutely.
run a couple of companies, but I'm always at my desk. I'm always at the charts, and I've always got my Telegram open. And I used to have probably about 15 to 20 different groups. I only have there's three groups now, and the main one that's pinned is yours, and that's it. Just our private chat, and I don't get sidetracked by all these signal groups that I used to be part of saying buy now, sell here, because I think, well, I have my plan. I've learnt my plan. If I stick to that and I know it's profitable, and stick to the risk management, you're going to be quids in. You're going to succeed in trading. But
Absolutely. And just as you mentioned, like that's also one of the major things, like focusing on something specifically. I see so many traders often like jumping from one system to the other system. And if someone's taking trading absolutely seriously, like that's also one of the key details to it, in my true opinion, is you gotta dedicate yourself to that one thing absolutely. And you just cannot be half-assing a strategy. Like you gotta absolutely dive into it in detail and only focus on it like a
yeah,
religious belief, like only that, and live by it and die by it every single day.
yeah, yeah, definitely. I think that the biggest thing that I learned was, and I'm still learning it, is the psychology of trading and risk management. I've been open with you when I've been on holiday and I've been trying to trade on holiday, and you've turned around and says, you know, why are you doing that? You can't trade, sipping a beer or by the beach. It's just you've got to be in that mindset, and that's why I lost a little bit of money when I went on holiday because I wasn't in the mindset. I wasn't in that daily cycle, looking at the charts, annotating the charts, looking at, exactly looking at what we spoke about. And that's a massive thing. But the 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 the, the sort of the strategy that you teach is amazing. And it is a very profitable strategy if you stick to it and if you stick to the risk management and don't go, we are going to have losses. That's just trading. Take profit, stop loss. Who gives a shit? That's the motto, isn't it?
Absolutely. And just as you say, the one of the last things that you mentioned regarding the holidays, like that's also something that happened with me. Like I went on a holiday recently, and I haven't even been touching the charts at all. That's how I also know myself, that like I mentioned, you just cannot be half-assing it mentally. Like
Yeah,
if you're trading, you're trading. If you're on holiday, you're on holiday. And that's pretty much one of the other main reasons why I do these meetings on a daily basis. And especially in the beginning, at least for the first couple of months, we got to do it every single day, because that's how it becomes like a daily routine, and
yeah.
that's how it becomes part of your life.
Yeah. And I think the fact that you're now offering this refundable 5,000 euros, I mean that's incredible. The fact that you want people to be profitable, and when they are profitable, you then prop them up with that liquidity, that 5 grand into their trading account. That just shows that you're not really in it for the money, to be honest. Because let's face it, you've got enough. You know, you
Words.
know, you've made a lot of money, and I can see that. And you don't go flashing around. It's just that you can see in terms of what you're doing and your lifestyle, but also your commitment to trading. So, the fact you're giving that back, it's basically saying, well, you invest in me as a mentor, and I'll give you that money back if you put the time in. It's a win-win. It really is.
100%. I'm glad you agreed with me. And another thing, John, aside of the strategic perspective and aside of the concept that we learn and teach, daily cycle, all of those things, what's your experience with the live trading sessions? How did the daily live trading sessions help you?
So when we're in our mentorship group, so when there's a couple of us, um, there's one or two of us that speak up a lot of the time, and it's nice to have a conversation to talk about. the analysis, and sometimes you might have a difference of opinion, but a lot of the time our opinions align because we're all trading the same strategy. But for me personally, it's that extra confidence to take a trade. So particularly when you get funded, you spend a lot of time trying to get a funded account, and then you get it, and you think, oh man, I don't want to screw this up. And I think those live sessions, for me personally, when you say, I'm looking at this is what we're looking at in terms of the entry point potentially, and I've got that marked up on the chart, I go, right, yep, that's it. I'm gonna take that. But for me, that's just a personal confidence thing, and that will come. Um, so yeah, the live trading is really useful, and we're still doing it. What, we're seven months in, and we're still live trading. In fact, that trade that we took the other day, I was actually out, and I wasn't going to be on the charts. But you'd done all the analysis. You jumped on that call, and you talked about the entry point, and I took the trade, and next thing I know, I think I was 2% off, and that was it. Close the trade.
Amazing. And John, since you first joined the bootcamp, went through the one-on-one program, where are you right now at your current stage of trading? Are you funded? Are you in the progress of full-time trading? Where's the current stage for you?
So I'm a funded trader with quant funding. I've got $100,000. I also was with other prop firms. I've actually been funded about four times. But I won't go into too much detail, but some of these prop firms are just absolutely rubbish. And when you start getting profitable, they look for every excuse to close your account, except quant funding, which want to work with you. And if you break one of their rules by, risking more than 1% on a trade, rather than shut your account down, they will reach out to you and say, you've used 1%. That's, think about your risk management, all that sort of stuff, and they let you have another go. And I've been warned once from sort of over egging it a little bit, and they're fine about it, whereas other people might close you down.
Oh
So
yeah.
I'm 100,000 funded, and I'm doing a 200,000 challenge with them at the moment, which I'm doing phase one. Next week I'm starting it.
Oh yeah, I
Um,
mean you're gonna pass easily. Like there's not a single doubt of passing it. And speaking of the breaches and the fund accounts, like that's also another big thing if you think of it. Because if you're full-time trading, you just cannot have like a fund account that's like taken away the next month. Like what are you trading with in this case? So especially if someone's profitable, the the account for that trader, it's a massive tool to get the monthly profit. So
yeah.
just as you mentioned, those funding firms who take the accounts away, like they just make full-time trading so difficult.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I paid 500, well, less than, I think it was $350 for an account, and I look back at it and I managed to get just shy of 10,000 USD out of them. I'm happy, at the end of the day, I paid 300 and they gave me nearly 10,000. So that's it with that particular firm. Quant, they just keep paying me out, and I like the fact that they're really honest about it, like with slippage and real-time trading, what it actually would have looked like if you put it onto a proper broker, and they deduct the payouts because of that, and that's fine because that's real conditions.
Oh, of course. But I also like that. Like, that's definitely a good part. So yeah, I mean, John, like your journey is definitely on a good path. And as for me, as a mentor, I can genuinely say you're one of the most successful students who I've worked with. Of course, I do have other successful students too who are definitely already full-time traders and been in trading for, a long time, like 2, 3, 4 years. However, like in terms of the timeline of working with you, like you're definitely the fastest successful trader who, went through the program and just a couple months down the line you're already getting very successful trades. So, plan the trade up, and that's really the most important part in full-time trading.
Absolutely. Yeah. And thank you for everything you've done as well in terms of your mentorship and your continued support. Because obviously, what people don't see is that we talk every day. I message you every day for various reasons, and I always get a response. So I think again, if somebody wants to take that mentorship one to one, they get that sort of personal approach, and that's not over when the 6 weeks, sorry,
Mhm.
6 months or whatever. That's continuous until you decide you've packed up trading. So
Lifetime.
there's another, yes, absolutely, and that's invaluable. So thank you for that, and thank you for your guidance. And let's hopefully we'll hit this 200K account, and when you visit the UK, I'll take you out.
Sounds good, John. Absolutely. So, John, thanks for sharing your opinions and giving everybody a perspective of what the program is all about. And I do hope this does give everybody a good perspective of what we do and how the mentorship looks like.
Yeah, great. Thanks, Daniel.